Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bow and Arrow Tarot and today's pick a card reading, your future spouse and their message for you. I love doing this pick a card series on my channel because today we take a look at who your future spouse may be. What kind of person are they at heart? What kind of energy do they resonate with? We take a look at why they're your future spouse, the way the two of you connect. We also take a look at a special message they have for you right now, something that you need to hear from your future spouse. And we take a little bit of a look at timing of when this future spouse may come into your life. Now, remember, these messages, they're timeless, and so they come and find you whenever you're meant to receive them. So take a deep breath, ground yourself, and then allow your intuition to draw you to the pile that calls to you the most. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Now, timestamps are below, and if you need another minute, this is a perfect time to pause the video. And when you're ready, you can go straight to your reading. So let's begin with pile number 1. Welcome to the reading for pile number 1 for today's pick a card, your future spouse and their message. So we're going to jump right in to who is this person. They are the hunter. Ooh, already something fiery. And what kind of court card are they resonating with? This person is a King of Swords. I love it. So a lot of communication right away. What other energy does this future spouse have right now? 6 of Wands, a victory, along with a 7 of Wands. So just so much fire, fire and air. This person has a lot of energy, right away, a lot of passion. Now, what kind of energy are you resonating with right now? You're resonating with that animal spirit, the mouse. Now, don't forget, we're going to go a lot deeper with clarifiers and oracle cards. You're also resonating with that 10 of Pentacles. So abundance is coming in for you, but you're starting something new. Page of Wands. Now, what is the special message? After the storm. Wow. Now, I love doing this reading especially because of the message. What are the energies around you? Spirit of alchemy and spirit of the giraffe. So you're fixing to sort of create magic right now, as well as gain perspective. Now, again, I was going to say I love doing the future spouse reading because the message for you from your future spouse is always something that is meant to help you right now. So they're your future spouse, right? And they haven't come in yet, but you're going through something right now. And, it's almost as if, they're reaching sort of in the past, right? Because by the time the two of you come together and they're your spouse, they've reached into the past in this reading, which is right now in this moment, to give you some really heartfelt message or advice on what you're going through right now. So that's why I love it. Let's get right into it. And we're going to take a look at who is this person. Ooh. And what kind of archetype are they resonating with? The Hunter and the King of Swords. So again, so much fire. The Hunter, I love this energy, especially in a lover or a spouse, because the Hunter is so intentional. This person is not just kind of, they don't just go after whatever is easy or, they have a very, or go along with the crowd. They have a very specific goal. A hunter knows what it wants, right? A hunter knows what it wants. And a hunter energy uses everything in the kit and caboodle to get it, right? So when we're talking about a person, this is somebody who is extremely, I want to say, competitive, focused, right? Driven, right? Intentional, and they resonate with that beautiful King of Swords. So the King of Swords, more fire and more air. King of Swords energy is nice in a spouse because we're talking about somebody here who is extremely intelligent, logical, right? Truthful, honesty, You know, that throat chakra opening up along with the heart chakra, we talk about speaking truth, speaking honestly, not engaging in any sort of deception or shadow or coming from a place of ego. Now, that is the King of Swords exalted, right? When he's doing really well. When he's not doing so well, the King of Swords can be very petty and spiteful, and of course, all of the opposite. But right here, I feel just like a really powerful, strong, passionate, driven person who may even be a little bit idealistic, right? Now, what other energies? We're going to go, as I say, we'll go much deeper, and we're going to be pulling the zodiac runes. So stay until the end so you can see what zodiac signs we might be dealing with. But 6 of Wands and 7 of Wands, so more fire, bam, bam. But here, this is beautiful. So your person who, your future spouse right now is in a victorious state. They're feeling a lot of victory in their life right now. They're also at the same time fighting for something to a certain degree, right? Employing a lot of courage and valor in a way of, it almost feels as though like they may have thrown their support behind something that really put them in a space of their own, you know, somewhat rebellious, you know, not of the ordinary, whatever stance or work or effort that they currently have put all of their support, all of their hunter archetype energy into, maybe something that a lot of people were attacking them for, didn't understand. It's a very unique, creative position to be in. But you have to be very courageous. And 7 of Wands is all about courage. You can see, being attacked, sort of from all sides with all these different wands, and yet maintaining your peace and your strength. And so your person is someone who right now is going through that energy. And they're used to winning, though, right? I mean, the 6 of Wands, they're used to winning. They're used to being sort of the odd one out. Or let me rephrase that. Not so much the odd one out, but somewhat of a visionary, much like the King of Wands energy. But most importantly, who they are at their core is someone who really speaks truth, speaks honestly, speaks creatively, is very unique. And oftentimes through their dedication with that hunter energy and their courage, they have success. They win their position. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper now about your future spouse, because that's what we want to know, right? We want to know all about who this person is. Devil energy comes out, Capricorn, and Page of Wands. So twice we have a Page of Wands here. And so, I'm going to say that the both of you, right away, we see what the two of you share, what brings you two together. Very unique individuals, Page of Wands energy, for both of you to have it, because we're going to come to you here and the connection, but you have a Page of Wands as well, your person. Very, again, unique. The person who is willing to sort of be fearless and walk their own path, even if nobody else around understands or comprehends or gets you, or even, I dare say, believes in it, right? Now, the devil is there. In tarot, the devil is all about desire, right? It's all about desire and control, and passion. The devil is also the card for Capricorn. So some of you may indeed be dealing with a Capricorn, but like I said, I'm going to be pulling out the zodiac runes in just a bit. But it almost feels as though here, the devil being associated with those energies can always go one way or the other, right? When we are passionate and we are sort of in control, right? In a careful control, but still passionate and creative, we can create beautiful things and bring them into fruition. That's why it's associated with Capricorn, strong earth energy here. Create beautiful things for the world, right? Works of art, whatever they may be. But when that's in the shadow, when that passion and desire and control is out of balance and it comes from a shadowy place, a dark place, a base emotion place. This is when we can get into what most people associate with the devil, sort of this dark side, um, dark side of sort of addiction and control issues, not being able to control yourself or wanting to control others. Now, how does this factor into your spouse? I feel like your person is probably an extremely creative person and very much a rebel. They may play with that fire a little bit. They are very unique, again, in the way they live their life with that Page of Wands. Page of Wands is also one of the highest cards in tarot for overcoming your fear. So the two of you share that very, very much. Now let's move on to you, and then I'll circle back. What energy are you resonating with right now? Mouse energy, that earth energy. Right now you've been busy, 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 right? And what I love about the mouse is that the mouse is just so able to sort of take care of things, get things done. The mouse is just so sort of efficient in sort of small ways, earthy ways, getting it done, getting the work done, getting the tasks done, all of the little bits and pieces that need to be done to elevate anything up. Oftentimes, it's the most forgotten part of the work. Oftentimes, it's the type of energy that people don't associate with great value, but in fact, it has so much value. So little could be accomplished without that mouse energy. However, sometimes the mouse can sort of get caught up in the details, right? So here we are. Let's go further. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Wands. So you are currently dealing with a success yourself, right? Probably through all of the hard work with that energy, right, that you have employed. Ten of Pentacles is success, it's legacy, it's abundance and bounty coming in after a long time of working at it. You have had success before, but this is really something has come in that you've desired for a long time. At the same time, a chapter is closed as well, and a new one is opening. Maybe a new type of life, a new lifestyle, but in this way, you are resonating here with this other Page of Wands like your spouse. Very unique. This next stage you're coming into, you're not coming into it with a whole lot of people around you, or you are once again sort of carving your own path. This feels like it's a creative endeavor, right? It feels very much like, let me start pulling some more cards. Feels very much like you and your spouse share a love of creativity in some way, whether that's art or it's even just being creative and a bit avant-garde in an approach to a certain part of life, even business, right? You may be in the field of business or finance, but there's something very avant-garde and very different about the way that you approach your work. Both of you have a lot of success. But right now, it feels to me that you yourself are also about to embark on a new journey. It almost feels like the two of you your paths may be coming together. That the two Page of Wands together like this, what's flipping over for me? Another Page of Swords, and this card came out. What else do we have? There we have it, that Three of Pentacles. Let me find some room here. I like to keep the cards out for all of you guys to see. There's imagery in the cards that may draw you in, pull you in, may remind you later. These become your totems. But what I love, another Page. So really the two of you are very much starting separately, and I do feel like there's a coming together, as in this may even be leading up. This isn't just your future spouse giving you a message, but the timing here feels like they're coming in to be your future spouse in a very near future. That Page is very much a feeling of starting something new, starting a new sort of path or journey, project, endeavor. It doesn't mean that you as a person necessarily are, new and inexperienced. You could be very experienced and wise. And I do think you and your future spouse are very experienced in your fields, in the work that you do. But there is a new type, path or change to that work that you're both embarking in on. And so you've become a bit of, you're back to being a bit of a novice in some regard, right? But you want to do it. You both want to do it. This is coming out of desire. You're not being thrown into it. You have this new desire. Innovation comes to mind, right? So Page of Swords is there. And what I was feeling, as well as that Three of Pentacles. So confidence beginning to come in, a little bit of understanding, and Three of Pentacles. This is where I see that the two of you may find each other. There's a lot of collaboration and cooperation happening in a very physical way. Part of this new sort of path for both of you definitely could be, as I say, involving work or a project, a new endeavor, something very real, tactile and physical, earthy. We're not talking about like a new idea, right? We're talking about putting it in, putting it into place, manifestation in the real world, even building something. Could be building a school or some kind of tactile project that people engage in, that you could show to the world. As I said, it's in its nature, the two of you are very, very creative and very, very bold. Again, innovation definitely comes to mind. I want to pull a Jupiter card to really see how the two of you may be coming together. Jupiter, all about expansion and growth, expansion, innovation, growth, opportunity, innovation. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Innovation kept coming to mind throughout the entire reading. Innovation. Didn't I say it? And here it is, Jupiter and Aquarius. And Aquarius is such a sort of beautiful air sign, more air, but that Aquarius energy is all about sort of humanity, and all of its sort of very many shades and angles, right? Is so out of the box, right? So different. Yes, it's through innovation that the two of you come together. And it feels very much like your field, right? Through innovation in your field, in your work. Now, you are resonating with that mouse. You're very, very busy, right? Doing a lot of little things. This is what I wanted to circle back on. The mouse can, at times, lose a little bit of perspective. And we have Spirit of the Giraffe coming in. I love this because today Spirit is giving me a very clear message. So when you're busy with all of the little minutiae and the tasks, sometimes you can get overworked. Sometimes you can be, you can begin to forget how it all fits together, right? To see the bigger picture. And you oftentimes with a new thing, innovation project, what have you, you have to always check in with the bigger picture. Because, you're working along on the little things, and oftentimes you have to remember, okay, but what is the point of this? What is the point? What are we trying to achieve? Because you can be lost in the minutia, and you look up and you realize you kind of lost the thread of the bigger picture, of ultimately what you wanted to achieve, right? An aggregate altogether. And so your future spouse and what you share together, that sort of simpatico soul, creative work energy, and where you are right now in your new path, your future spouse is letting you know that their special message for you is after the storm. So you may have recently, especially with that Ten of Pentacles and that abundance coming in, you may have recently really had a breakthrough. Right? Something ended, but it came to a good end. There was a success. The success has come in. Yes, and there has probably been much of a storm around you, right? In a lot of ways, getting to that level, where the success is coming in, where especially with that Ten of Pentacles, getting to that stage where, oh, okay, it worked, and boom, the money, everything is working, the money's come in. Yes, we're now ready to go to the next step, the next chapter. You're busy with that mouse energy, probably propelled a bit on the high of this sort of success and wealth coming in, abundance, rewards, right, for hard work coming in. Your future spouse wants you to know after the storm, oftentimes it's the calm. It's the calm that needs to come, right? Because a storm comes, there's a flurry of activity, and something, you succeed, something is gained, right? Something is achieved, but there's a lot of fallout that happens, right, through all of that work. And oftentimes, what's really valuable in that space is to take a step back. It's not always about just diving into the momentum and going full steam ahead. You have to take a moment back sometimes and allow that mouse energy to pull back from everything and get perspective again. And what do we have here? Spirit of the giraffe. Perception, foresight, advantage. But that is, in effect, perspective, a higher perspective, an advantage, being able to look a bit from a broader or higher vantage point. You also have spirit of alchemy, manifestation, right? Skill, transmutation. Again, I love that alchemy energy because it does feel like this here. And this is why that word innovation kept coming to mind, because you are trying to do something different, trying to do something new here. It involves your work. It involves your creativity. It involves much of the time doing it on your own. Excuse any background noise, y'all. I live in the city, so there's nothing I can do about that. But as I say, this kind of rebellious, avant-garde, out-of-the-box energy that you bring, this trying to create, spirit of alchemy, trying to create something new, right? Put all of it together in different ways. You're hunter, king of swords, strong energy for your future spouse. I love that the two of you really gel. And the message they have for you is that if they were here right now, they would tell you, yeah, you did it. Now it's after the storm, time for you to take a step back, get some foresight, adjust the way you're looking at things. And remember that energy of alchemy, which requires all things: time, space, rest, activity, all levels of skill, perception, all senses. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, now is the time for us to pull out the zodiac runes and see what kind of zodiac signs you might be dealing with in this connection. So some of you are dealing with that Leo, that fire. Yes, Leo. Some of you are dealing with a Cancer, that water energy, Cancer, that love of family, that close energy. Some of you are dealing with a Pisces. Wow, so we have that strong psychic energy there. There may be a psychic link almost in a way between the two of you, because there's such a feeling here of the two of you being so connected. And some of you are dealing with a Sagittarius. Yes, Leo, Sagittarius, 2 fire and 2 water, Cancer and Pisces. And this is the message I have for you for pile number 1, your future spouse, and their special message for you. I feel like this is going to be happening in a very near future here, especially with this work that I feel like work is bringing the two of you together, or some shared project or desire. Now, if you resonated with this, let the collective know. And if you enjoy my readings, just hit that like button. That really helps me out on YouTube. They love it when you hit the like button. So I ask you for that. But that is it for pile number 1. So if you're ready and you want to stay with me, we're going to get right into pile number 2. Welcome to the reading for pile number 2 for today's Pick a Card, your future spouse, and their message for you. We're going to jump right in. This person, this future spouse, they resonate with the Shapeshifter. And they resonate with the King of Wands. So a lot of fire, a lot of adaptability, to say the least. What else do we have? Seven of Swords as well as a Five of Cups. So they've definitely had to deal with some shadow, some heartache. So what's your animal spirit right now? The Scorpion, more fire, a lot of fire, a lot of fire. All right. And your energy right now, you have Queen of Swords you're resonating with, as well as Eight of Wands. So a lot of people wanting your time and energy. You have a lot coming at you right now, but we're going to get into all of this. So what is the special message from your spouse, your future spouse? What you want wants you. What you want wants you. It's a beautiful oracle card about intentionality. And then we have Spirit of the Wolf and Spirit of Elixirs. So, yeah, that instinctual energy, right? Working from instinct, that loner, fierce sort of defending yourself, as well as spirits of elixirs. So some intoxication and drinking going on. We're going to get right into all of this. We're going to go deeper, of course, with the clarifiers. Now, what I love most about this particular Pick a Card series on my channel is that we're going to be looking at who this person is, your future spouse, and what it is about them and their history and knowledge and understanding, compared to you, where you're at right now, and the message that they have for you. So it's almost as if they're reaching back in time. They are your future spouse, but they want to talk to you right now about what you're going through, and they want to help. And so this is generally a beautiful pick a card to do. Now, this person, this future spouse of yours, is resonating with the Shapeshifter and the King of Wands. So a lot of fire, a lot of passion, a lot of love, right? The King of Wands is so idealistic, visionary. You know, the King of Wands is a leader. Oftentimes, somebody who resonates with this energy, oftentimes people look to them to be a leader, but they don't necessarily ask for that, right? They just kind of ooze that. They naturally imbue that energy because this type of person is very determined, very creative, very ambitious, right? Willing to follow something through, understands what it takes to succeed at things, right? But more than anything, it's that vision, right? It's that desire and passion and that vision, that ability to sort of look ahead and see what world they want to create. This is very King of Wands energy. And then knowing very much how to put it into play, right? How to create it, how to make it happen. Yes, authority, someone who has a lot of authority in their field, probably a lot of experience in their field, right? This person. But they also have shapeshifter energy. So shapeshifter is interesting. This can be someone who is extremely adaptable, adaptable, not necessarily changeable, very different, adaptable. So able to sort of fit in where they need to, adjust what they need to, right? Be spontaneous, right? Be creative. There is a shadow side here, though. This can be somebody who is somewhat of a people pleaser, right? Or perhaps has tried to be all things to a lot of different people, to all people. What I feel right away here, though, is that there is an experience here that your future spouse has of perhaps having tried to be too much of the shapeshifter in the sense of, just adapting too much to fit in, to, like, as I say, that people pleaser side. King of Wands suggests that they've learned from that experience, but what else do they have? Seven of Swords, Five of Cups. So your future spouse has definitely dealt with some deception in the past, right? Some deception, or at least I want to say connections with people where whatever it is that they did was quite futile. It never really worked. Whatever sort of tactic, and I want to say this may be specifically in terms of a love connection as well, or a relationship in their past. There was something, Five of Cups, that they truly, truly miss. that they had to sort of, I would say, mourn the loss of. But there's also this sort of Seven of Swords futility there, right? So it's a feeling here to me that your future spouse, and we're going to start shuffling the clarifiers. Don't forget, at the end, I always pull the zodiac runes, so we see what kind of zodiac signs you're dealing with. But what I feel here is that your future spouse, what they're bringing to the table specifically here for you, and especially looking ahead at the message, is that they have learned from their past, the time in their past where they may have tried to do too much for people, right? Tried to be everything to everyone. Maybe too much adaptability, right? With that shapeshifter energy there, right? Too sort of, I want to say, willing to compromise with others around them. What flipped over, yeah, and exactly, this makes a lot of sense. And this is exactly what I was going to get to with that Five of Cups, now Three of Swords, Seven of Swords. Yes, your person has had to deal with deception and betrayal or heartache, right? Seven of Swords is definitely deception, and there's your Ace of Wands. And they have an understanding, right? Your future spouse, it's this experience that they are able to send you the message now, because what you're going through is it may be a little bit similar here as I look ahead. They know what it's like. They've gone through a situation where they've had their heart broken. They've been cheated on, perhaps. And looking back on it, there's a sadness there for them because they realize very much, or certainly this experience, right? They realized that a lot of what they were putting up with that ultimately hurt them was because they were resonating too much with that shapeshifter, too much with that energy of wanting to, satisfy everyone. And so adjusting, compromising themselves, right? Compromising who they are, maybe their character, compromising, I want to say, things about their personality, even things that they may have liked, right? They really, really gave in to a lot of that and suffered from that. Out of it is an Ace of Wands, though. There is a new desire beginning, understanding coming in. Ace of Wands is oftentimes the great phallic symbol in the tarot. I noticed that a lot of tarot readers don't mention that, but it is talking about that fire, that desire, that new fire, the ace, that beginning, oftentimes can be that energy of being smitten by someone, almost intoxicated, right? And this is coming in. And I think that this may even be speaking to the timing here for you, because this new passion comes in for your future spouse. It's coming in for them right now. Remember, these messages are timeless. And so whenever you come to my readings here, on my pick a card readings, the current here and now is your current here and now. And so this person is going through that. Now they bring that understanding and that lesson, because the king learns his lessons. He knows, right? They bring that to your situation. Now, what is your situation right now? What are you resonating with? Scorpion energy, that fire. So the Scorpion is someone who is very cautious about those around them. Now, not to be confused with Scorpio in the astrological zodiac sign, right? The zodiac sign, Scorpio, or astrologically, constellation, this is the animal spirit. And while they share some aspects, here we're talking about more of survival, right? Scorpion animal spirit is one that is all about survival, all about protecting themselves, shielding themselves, having very few people that you allow in. Very few friends, very few people that are close to you. Scorpion is also extremely competitive, highly competitive, right? Has that fire for being the best and competing, just competitive in every area of their life, right? Sort of that kill or be killed sort of thing, which we know this about Scorpion energy, that stinger will come out oftentimes as well. Very sort of extreme in a lot of ways when it comes to perhaps accepting the mistakes of others around you can be very, very critical. Sometimes can sting first before finding out, right? Because it can be overly sort of guarded and in that effort kind of even lash out. So it's interesting that right now you are also resonating. If you're resonating with this reading, right now you're resonating in your life with that Scorpion energy. And it comes down to, some truth having come in. You yourself, I believe, this is to say that you are not necessarily a Scorpio or resonate. This is not your life animal spirit, but this is the animal spirit you're embodying right now. And I say that because I think some truths have come in for you recently. Queen of Swords, oftentimes, she's a very exhausted queen. She oftentimes, it took a lot for her to get to that throne. She had to deal with a lot of soul searching. She had to deal with a lot of blows to her ego. She had to deal with sort of wading through a lot of lies and deceptions, right, of her own making in terms of to herself, lying to herself, and of those around her. So it's taken a lot of work and effort and attention to sort of cut through the noise and the BS, to be strong enough to be authentically herself, and at the same time to see others more clearly, right? To begin to really see through the mask of others. You will be surprised. I'm going to tell you right now, I do a lot of personal readings for people as well, and you will be surprised how much sort of, deceptive sort of energy is out there. This is not to say that, it's almost not to say that people are purposely say, I'm going to lie so that I hurt somebody else with my lie, right? It's not so much, it's more, it begins in such small ways, and it just before you realize it, I think so many people don't realize what deception is all about. Even people who sort of lie to themselves about who they really are, it's not really considered a lie. It's considered sort of then we say you're not being honest with yourself. But in any case, I digress. I say that because right now I think you've gone through a lot of that, to resonate with Queen of Swords. She's gone through having to sort of, sift through so much BS and also the shock. The shock when you realize exactly how much of what people say, people around you, right? Connections, people, energies, environment around you, specifically with people in communication, it's just not factually true or even sort of accurate or just, real, right? Oftentimes there's such at the very least, exaggeration, and at the worst, out and out lie. And so you have that, and you're dealing with that, and clarity is coming in. You're being very strong, though. So in this stage, with this Queen and Scorpion energy right now, you're being like, okay, well, I'm not putting up with anything from anyone, 8 of Wands, and at the same time, you have a lot of people coming at you, a lot of communication. So now I want to go a little bit deeper and pull one more card because I'm so curious about what kind of work it is that you do or what it is that right now you are having so much attention on you with that eight of Wands. 9 of Cups. Somebody's coming at you in a romantic way. And I think that you found out some information. Let me get one more. And there's the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. So, yeah, I think that because your future spouse has gone through a love scenario of betrayal, right? Betrayal and deception and loss, right? The whole shebang, and learned the lesson from it. And the lesson here was very much the lesson of the shadow of shape-shifting, of changing yourself too much, compromising too much for the sake of others. Here, and to watch out, and the part about that, which is your own part that you play. Now, here we have, for you right now, all of this attention you're getting, I believe that you may indeed be getting attention from someone romantically or in a way that, they want to be, somebody is trying to woo you, court you, they want to be with you, right? But you are kind of like in this space where you're like, no, I don't trust you. I don't necessarily trust you at all. Queen of Swords. And something really strong and new and powerful is coming in, an opportunity. I want to see something. I'm going to pull the Jupiter card as I did for pile number 1. I'm going to see how the two of you, your future spouse and you, come in. I'm going to say what you want wants you. I'm going to say, listen, this is taking an interesting turn, but let us see, because I think you may have already met your future spouse. Patience. I think you may have already met your future spouse. And this is why I say this for the timing. You know, a lot of times when I do the pick a card, your future spouse, and their special message for you, it's like they have a message for you that they want you to have right now to help you through whatever you're going through right now in the interim, right, while they're coming in, because they're your future spouse, right? There may be still some time, even other relationships in that space, right? Here it feels very much like your future spouse is letting you know right now that they're in your life and that they're the ones who are going to be your future spouse. See what I'm saying? Ace of Wands energy, Ace of Pentacles. You are right now probably know someone, right, who has been trying to get at you. Knight of Cups. But because you are resonating with this Scorpion energy, I'm going to say, and because I do feel that you are coming from an experience from the past, which has, I want to say caused you to sort of develop into this energy or assume this posture to be protective of yourself. You require a lot of honesty, right? You are not messing around with anybody who is not honest. And so this energy that this person is coming in with, it could very well be that you sense something here with that shapeshifter. Again, the shapeshifter is a little bit funny, right? He has to be really doing a lot of soul and shadow work to be using that shapeshifter energy for the best possible good, right? But nevertheless, this person is letting you know they're coming in. They may be coming in, giving you a lot of attention. This is this new love for them and for you, this new opportunity that's coming. But you may not be giving them a lot of energy. Patience is at play when I take a look at that Jupiter energy, that growth, expansion, what's the next stage? It's patience. It's already here and happening. And your person wants you to know why what you want wants you. And I almost have to giggle because it's like, because of perhaps some of your experience in the past, you are very, very guarded. However, you are wanting a love connection, a love relationship to come in. You are here for the pick a card, your future spouse. And so you are open to that, but you are extremely, extremely guarded, right? And so your future spouse is already trying to woo you right now at this moment, and they're letting you know that what you want wants you. They're trying to let you know that, hey, I'm already here. I want you, and what you're looking for and what you want, it's right here with me. Hello, and I want you back. Really, this is an incredible pick a card for this, or I want to say pile reading for this pick a card, because it's very rarely has this happened, but this is the energy here. I got to be real, right? This is the energy. You see it in the cards. And so, yeah, right now, fierce, loner, instinctual, and yet we have spirit of elixirs. It may take a little drinky drink for you, you know? It may take a little bit of some kind of intoxication, perhaps. Now, listen, we don't want to be, shameless and completely uninhibited. However, it's interesting. This Spirit Oracle card only shows up when literally there is some kind of oiling of the joints happening where you get a little bit more comfortable, loosening up, right? You are on guard. Yeah, you are on guard, but your person is already in your life. And the message for you is that, hey, I'm right here. You don't have to be so much on guard. Give me a chance, right? Give me a chance. All right. And they know what it's like to have been hurt, right? They know what it's absolutely like to have been hurt in the past. So some of you are dealing with a Scorpio. Wow. So when I pull out my zodiac runes, yeah, Scorpio. I was wondering if Scorpio would show up anyway. Some of you are dealing with an Aries. Some of you are dealing with a Libra, that air. It's so funny. And some of you are dealing with a Taurus, that strong earth sign. I was really expecting, yeah, Scorpio would show up. Love it, love it. All right, guys, this was an interesting run for pile number 2. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it resonated for you, and perhaps you're going through exactly this situation. If you are, sound off in the comments and let the collective know. If you enjoy my channel and my readings, just hit the like button. That really helps me out. YouTube loves that, and so I just ask for that. But that's it for right now for pile number 2. Now, if you feel so called to stay with me, let's get right into pile number 3. Welcome to the reading for pile number 3 for today's Pick a Card, your future spouse, and their message for you. And we're going to get into who is this person? The mystic. Wow. Very strong, spiritual. What is their court card? Prince of Wands. Oof, ambitious, fiery. 8 of Cups energy. Wow, they just walked away from something, a strong relationship for sure, and more fire with that 2 of Wands. So very interesting person, this future spouse of yours. Definitely recently went through a breakup. Now, what are you resonating with? Dragon energy. Wow, the self, the higher self. That's your animal spirit for right now. And you come in with a King of Swords. Pure honesty, piercing honesty rather, and 7 of Pentacles. So interesting, sort of a review of where you're at right now. So what special message does your future spouse have? Faith in the process. So something that you're going through right now requires your faith. And what other spirits do we have? Spirit of armor and spirit of the key. So protection, right? Defense. And then also spiritual knowledge coming in. Solutions, wisdom. Now, we will be getting more clarifiers. We're going to go right into all of this. But what I love most about this particular Pick a Card series on my channel, your future spouse and their message for you, is that we take a look at who this person is and what their experience is, what they might be going through now or what they have gone through, and why they're bringing this special message to you right now based on what you're going through. So let's just get right into it. We're going to take a look at this person's archetype and their court card right now, the Mystic and the Prince of Wands. Wow. Well, listen. The Mystic is all about someone who is able to bring light in very dark situations, right? That strength, that ability to transmute difficult darkness, shadow, right, into light, into a lesson, into a learning process, into a healing process. Prince of Wands energy. The Prince of Wands in this deck is ambitious, right? This is also someone who's extremely ambitious, very fiery. This person has sort of a fire underneath of them that propels them forward. They definitely resonate, though, with a strong sort of spiritual or moral objective that they have, right? They have sort of a way of life, an objective in life. They're not just kind of, going through life sort of just like, oh, okay, I'll have a career, I have this, that's just sort of living, right? This type of person who resonates with this mystic energy is someone who's going to have a very definite theory on the way they should be living their lives, a philosophy, right? Something that they adhere to, something that they believe in, and something that is going to be altruistic at its core, something that is a way of being intentionally in their life that is specifically towards bringing light and helping. This is going to be someone who probably works in the community. They may work in areas that nobody else wants to work in. They may work definitely with marginalized groups or difficult scenarios, maybe not even marginalized, but difficult life scenarios. This type of person could be a counselor, a teacher, a counselor, a support, right? Some kind of a support energy in their work that they do. And again, they're also very, very ambitious and fiery and forward thinking. Now, what energy are they resonating with right now? Eight of Cups and Two of Wands. So this is interesting. They've walked away recently, I'm going to say, from either a relationship or a situation that just no longer served them. I love this Eight of Cups in this deck because it's like she just turned her back and walked. It's like, yeah, I'm done, right? I'm done with this. It's not even an energy of feeling like, any regret or sadness or lingering animosity. It's just like, I'm done. I'm just ready to move on. That's that energy, Eight of Cups. And with another Wands card, Two of Wands. Again, more fire for your future spouse. And this energy, Two of Wands, is Mars and Aries. So not only have they walked away from something or someone, we're going to go deeper now, but they're also like definitely, sort of looking forward to the future, right? They're full steam ahead sort of thing. No turning back, full steam ahead. So before we move on, because I am curious now, what is it that they've walked away from? Because this also helps us really understand their special message for you right now, where they're kind of reaching out to you. This message in my Pick a Card, Your Future Spouse series is always about your future spouse sending you a message of help and support, right? So what is it they're walking away from? They have Magician energy and Two of Pentacles. Interesting. Something to do for sure with work, right? And this is why it makes sense that they have a special message for you to do with work. We have more pentacles here. But let's just talk about your future spouse. They have a talent and an ability and capability that makes them sort of, as we see, a magician almost. Someone who's so adept and capable at something, so talented. Magician is one of the highest energies, the highest energy, I would say, in tarot for talent, someone who's able to really, the alchemist, right? Someone who's in the highest creative energy, someone's able to create, manifest almost out of anything what they desire, right? So that's the magician, right? And that's the kind of energy that your person is resonating with. And yet they had to juggle a lot of financial and material issues, maybe even responsibilities with that Two of Pentacles. There was a lot on them that they had to sort of juggle and go through that was very difficult for them. And somewhere along the line, they decided to walk away from that. Now, that may not have been very easy. It may have indeed even cost them maybe financially in some way. Whatever the case may be, there was some scenario in their life, I want to say, environment, either work-wise or connection-wise with other people when it comes to working with other people, a partnership or, a mentorship, whatever the case may be. It had something to do with very physically having to choose themselves, choose what they truly desire and walk away. Now, as we come to you here, this is your future spouse and their energy, which is a lovely energy, a very determined energy. And so they're reaching now out to you, almost reaching into the past, right? Because this is their message to you, but you two are coming together in the future. Right now, you are resonating with dragon energy first and foremost. You're dealing with sort of really being, or if you haven't been in touch with yourself, making touch with yourself, sort of, you're right now, currently, you're much more aware of your deeper inner self, as it were. The dragon is associated in this deck with ether energy. So not even air, water, fire, or earth, but ether, which is what most of the universe is made out of, and is associated with the third chakra. Now, some will say that's the solar plexus. Some will say that's the navel area. In any case, it's between that pelvic bowl and the heart chakra area, mostly in the navel, between navel and solar plexus. And it's that breath, that spiritual, fiery breath that comes from ourselves, who we truly are. Our higher self, some people talk about, but it is our closest friend, the one who is us. But as we become more connected to that personality, we begin as friends and eventually begin to get closer, realize we are one and the same. That dragon is always watching and is always there and is always sort of guiding and will always sort of guide you to the right step that is good for you, even if it's difficult. And I say that because you resonate with this King of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. So it feels like right now, interestingly enough, you are also going through a difficult, or I would rather say a change in your career maybe, right? Something to do with what it is you have worked towards in any capacity, whether that be physical work or sort of creative work. Certainly, I want to say it's something that has a lot to do with the way you pay your bills, right? But it's also something you've really devoted a lot of energy and time into, and a lot of your skill, right? Now you have someone here, King of Swords energy. This is outside energy, I feel like. There is some other person here in your life that is sort of an authority figure of some kind. This could even be a boss or someone who has, let's go a little bit deeper, someone who has some kind of connection to the work that you do and to where you are at with it right now, right? This could also not necessarily have to be a person per se, but it could just be an entity, a company or, whatever, an employer, right? It could be the archetype of the employer, but it may indeed, for some of you, really be someone specifically who's kind of either giving you, and maybe they might be giving you a bit of an ultimatum. I don't necessarily feel toxic energy, but let's see. I want to know a little bit more about that King of Swords. Oh, wow. Three of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Let me get one more for this one. And Four of Pentacles. Wow. So, interesting. For some of you, yeah, this is, okay. Well, Three of Swords, it could be to do with a breakup, right? Could be to do with a breakup of some kind, maybe a divorce or a separation. Could be a business breakup. Three of Swords isn't always about love. A lot of people misinterpret this tarot card with always being about somebody cheating on you in a relationship. It's the card for betrayal specifically. So someone has lied, right? Someone has lied or not kept their word, and the effect of it was heartbreaking. So there's an emotional component to it. But there generally is when somebody lies to you. But here we're talking about a betrayal. So a betrayal is when, you find out somebody can lie to you and it doesn't feel like a betrayal. A betrayal is when somebody lies to you in an effort to get something out of you, right? And, you give them that, whether it's your trust or your faith, your time, your energy, your love, etc. You give that to them based on what they've said to you. And then you find out that they've lied. So that's a betrayal, and it can be in a lot of ways. You can be betrayed at work. There's something to do with your job and this individual who is... I will say, again, I don't think this King of Swords is associated with the betrayal. This person may be a judge or mediator or somebody who's stepping in and asking you what you want, because there is an attack on your finances, stability. Knight of Pentacles comes in, though. You're a very determined person, right? You're an extremely determined person. You work very hard. Your future spouse may indeed come into you through this, but it feels to me like Something went on. I don't feel like necessarily this is to do with love. It feels to me very much like you may have had a business or a partnership of some kind of creative endeavor that you may have had with friends or even a lover. It may have been part of a marriage, but the most important thing about this is to do with your work. And you're realizing where you're at now. You're realizing that something has gone sideways, something has really hurt you, something has betrayed you, and you want to protect what you've earned so far. You want to protect what you've gained and earned, what you've worked for, and you're really reviewing right now. You're kind of looking to see, well, what shall I do? How shall I move forward? You definitely have an objective about what you want in your life. And it's very interesting because your person, your future spouse, has very much gone through a similar scenario where they had to walk away from some kind of either business decision or partnership or scenario where they felt as though in order to maintain perhaps their integrity, their ability to create and to work the way they wanted to, they had to make that separation. And it feels very much like you are exactly going through kind of a similar scenario here. You're in a situation where you are getting, whether you are getting or have been in touch, you are certainly resonating with that higher energy of yourself where you're really tuned into what you truly desire, what your path truly is, what your heart truly desires, what your higher self is letting you know is best for you. And you're at this kind of space here right now where you're having to make a certain decision. The decision is part of maintaining your stability and what you've worked for. It's also part of you sort of continuing to follow your path and what you desire and what you want to accomplish. And at the same time, wrestling with a deception and a betrayal that has happened somewhere along the line, either with those you work with or someone who has something to do with all of this. And there's an ultimatum here that has been given. Now, your person, let's see, before we move on to their message, I want to know a little bit more, because your person is saying have faith in the process, right? So I do wonder, now's the time I will be pulling out the Jupiter card, because I'm curious about how the two of you come together. Because this is what you two share, right? And there's certainly, as your future spouse, right? This person, of course, is wanting to give you that special message to help you right now, to give you that support as if they were here. And oftentimes I find with these readings that your future spouse coming into you usually through some of this scenario. Negotiation, yep. I'm not surprised. Negotiation. Yeah, you may have to negotiate some things, right, in your work area, your job area, right now with what you're going through, right, to get sort of what it is that you want and to sort of get out from underneath. Could very well be this is the tail end for some of you of maybe that divorce. So now you're parsing out the finances, the money, what you've worked for, what they've worked for. This could very much for some of you be sort of the tail end of that ending. And yet you're here for the future spouse reading, right? And so what I say to you is that whatever you're going through right now, your future spouse has kind of been through very much a similar thing. And it's all about negotiation. It's all about trusting your higher self and making hard decisions. They do not come without consequences. They walked away, your future spouse person has walked away from a very chaotic situation. They're ready to move forward, full steam ahead. And I have a feeling full steam ahead towards you, right? The next chapter here with you. And you are also in the midst of tidying up the ends of a heartache, a deception, a betrayal, the ending of something. So let us see, what is the message, faith in the process, right? So we saw it early on and see it throughout the reading. There is, your future spouse is letting you know that there is there's a divine energy that is part of the process that of any scenario that you go through, especially a scenario here where you're suddenly having to make very difficult decisions, where you have to sacrifice, perhaps, right? Oftentimes, the hardest decision is trying to decide what is it that you truly, truly want the most? What are you willing to sacrifice? What can't you sacrifice? And that's why resonating with the dragon is perfect right now, because your higher self will always let you know what you absolutely will not sacrifice and cannot sacrifice. And as long as you stick to that, all of your decisions will ultimately guide you back on your path. Now, Spirit of Armor and Spirit of the Key is here. So yeah, guarded, tactical, careful, defensive, and at the same time, solutions are coming in. And your future spouse is letting you know that there is solutions coming in. There is a process here. Have faith in the process. Have faith in yourself. Understand the art of negotiation. Jupiter in Libra, it is about a balance, right? Negotiation is about ultimately knowing exactly what you will or will not give up. And it all goes back to what I just said about that dragon energy, which will guide you. Your higher self will always let you know what your red line is, what your red line is, should be, as long as you are in touch with that energy and in line with it. So I love this reading. And this is what your future spouse has to say to you. Now, I feel like with that Two of Wands, they are right now in the stage of firmly coming into your life and towards you. And you may indeed meet them or have already met them through this process here, because oftentimes I find that the messages that they have for you is also about the timing of them coming in. Have faith in the process, because the process also brings us into that place together. This is your future spouse, right? All right, now is the time to pull out the zodiac signs. Let's see what zodiac energy you guys are dealing with this. We have some Gemini energy. So some of you are dealing with a Gemini, or you may have that in your chart. We have Capricorn energy. So that's that earthy Capricorn. We have Aquarius energy, air, and Virgo, strong earth energy as well. So 2 air, 2 earth, Gemini, Aquarius, Capricorn, Virgo. And this is it. This is the end of the message I have for you for pile number 3. I really hope it gave you some clarity and understanding. I hope you resonated with it. For some of you, you may want to even check out the other piles. The timing is close here for all 3 piles today, so your future spouse is definitely on the way in. Now, if you enjoyed my readings, why don't you hit the like button? That really helps me out. YouTube loves that, and that helps my channel. And otherwise, I will just say to you, I wish you all love, life, and happiness. Thank you for watching this Pick a Card, Your Future Spouse, and Their Special Message. I hope to see you right back here for your next Pick a Card at Bow and Arrow Tarot. Bye-bye, everybody.